Are live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the post-game community chat. I am Fourth Oracle, and here I am joined by quite a number of the mods and a couple of the players that we saw today. So, Byron, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Okay. What we'll do is we'll just go game to game. Fox was today's ref, so he has the most details, and he can add in as he wants to. Start with why don't we start with the red captains for game one?
Hope you're not wanting me to take over on that.
Did you turn volume up?
I'll look at the video. I don't remember, honestly. I did not write. The first one, I have very little notes. Sorry. Assuming you hear me.
We can hear you.
If we're not sure, we could just go with any captains from game one if they just want to talk about it. I think that would be TimmyB.
Unfortunately, the extent of notes I have for game one is who killed who on game one.
Yeah, Fox, why don't you just go over what your thoughts were in game one?
Okay. Game one, unfortunately, I was the least prepared for. We had the hoof ship killed Delta's ship. So I'm going to try and figure out how we're going to factor in who there was killing and how we're going to deal with that.
Well, we'll go over all the points and whatnot during the week and make sure we do it fairly. Why don't we just hear what everyone's thoughts were, even if they weren't in that match, just talking about what they thought about the squid race, what they liked, what they didn't like, that sort of thing. Trinity, I think, is the only one from week one that as I'm looking at all the people in this call. Trinity, did you have any thoughts? Trivy, is your mic working? Otherwise, we'll just go.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
There we go.
There we go. Okay. Go ahead, Trivy.
I don't know why it was set to what it was set to, but I fixed it.
All right, so
Glad that's fixed.
want to go ahead and ask the question again?
Yes. So, Trivy, what were your thoughts on game one? Beating.
The first one was all right. I'm not really sure what place I came in.
Well, like I said, we'll focus on getting this normalized standings and points, whatnot, with a day or two. We're just looking for more of your general thoughts and feelings and whatnot on your matches today, or in general.
Yeah, the only thing is the mines were a little unneeded.
Next time we're doing a race, there's no mines. That'll make things so much nicer.
Yeah, and I think that galleon race idea is actually awesome.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Here's the other possibility. Make death permanent. So you die, you end up...
The thing is, you can't have death permanent when we're just ad hoc in these, because then there's a massive advantage to one team dying as opposed to the other team dying, because the race start was in the blue spawn, right?
Right.
Oh, but I guess permanent means you could never come back. But
Yeah, it means that the spawns wouldn't matter.
yeah,
It would be pretty hard to catch up to your own teammates, though, since you can't harpoon them.
right. I mean, yeah, like you either have to have permanent death or no true way to kill each other. Or we just not do this until there's an actual in-game support for it. It's kind of hard to ad hoc this in, you know?
Yeah.
The biggest problem I see with this is actually that if you're on the same team, flares and harpoons are redundant.
Yeah, they don't do anything against ships that are on your team, quote unquote, on your team.
So it'd just be a straight up race with repairs and with the tar, and that'd be fine.
So I think what you're all saying is that we need to go down to Muse together and demand race.
Yep.
Well, here's the problem here's the big
hats.
problem that I see. I think death is always going to be a component in races unless like there's some sort of mode for it made by Muse, because even without weapons, there's going to be ramming, there's going to be bumping. I can totally see a situation where someone bumps into a wall and then the other person says, "Oh God," and accidentally rams into them and destroys, like smashes into their hull, deals half of their perma-hull damage. Then they hit the wall and deals another quarter, and then they hit the ship again and it deals another quarter and they die.
Yeah.
Like that
Well,
is
in our
just
case,
going
it was
to
just
happen.
one bomb, and we didn't. We just went down instantly. So
We're
Yeah, like,
trying to make a
it's-
racing game inside of a game that clearly wasn't developed as a racing game.
Yeah.
We're in slow-moving airships.
No matter what, until there's a game mode, it's not going to be perfect. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would definitely work with it.
week. It was an experimental week.
It was fun.
hmm Until there's a way to deal with death, either making it like a part of the race or just removing it entirely or something, some extra mode for it. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit strange implementing it, because this game implements death. That just happens.
It's the objective, really.
Yeah.
Things are supposed to die. The physics of the world.
And we're trying to fight it.
You can't fight death. It is inevitable.
Couldn't fight death. So we'll brainstorm some ideas at least for Timmy 2.
why don't we go to game 2, start with Sammy, and talk about maybe some of the things you prep for if you try to go more offensive, or if you're thinking just more with the buffing and the moonshine and the kerosene.
I'm fairly sure my ship was well buffed. I realized in retrospect Tar Barrel was complete waste, surprisingly.
Yeah. It because like squids were going so fast, they just went right through it.
Right.
Well, on that point,
If there's a situation where you were getting good tar on somebody, that person was already, stopped from something else.
on that point, right after that first turn, there's that really tight corridor. I
Even in
tarred the hell out of that, and I think it did okay. I mean, it kept people off my back for the first lap, and then I blew my engines up, and everyone caught up to me.
yeah, it wasn't
We
as
didn't
good as
make it
other
through that
tools could
quarter.
have been. I kind of wish I had done the kerosene moonshine combination. I was kerosene, hydrogen, and tar barrel. I wish I would have switched out my tar barrel from moonshine, and if I was doing it all again.
Mm, mm.
But in terms of being offensive, I mean, a lot of it's just kind of getting kind of lucky with placement and things like that, throwing a mine out at the right time. I feel like most of this game though was just making sure everything was well repaired. And
Yeah, half the race I had my crew on the engines; they weren't shooting at all. Except for I think one of them was trying to use a mine launcher.
Yeah, see, I imagine like I don't see a huge purpose in like trying to pull other people down unless it's just a really convenient thing to do, because you either pull 1/5 of your enemies down or you push yourself up through them, and that 1/5 is not going to be a huge deal compared to actually being able to push yourself forward.
mm-hmm.
If we removed kerosene and moonshine, that might actually have an effect to which we deploy tar and interact on the ship as well.
Yeah,
Possibly.
I noticed that the
Sorry, never mind. Go on.
I noticed that the ships that did the best were the ones that took both kerosene and moonshine, and then also had Phoenix Claw. Like those seemed the best.
Yeah, the reasoning behind
makes
that is
sense.
because if you burn your engines to half with moonshine and then start using kerosene, you're going to burn them down to orange and still going pretty fast.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can hold moonshine for like quick straightaways or something, or for acceleration, and keep your engines in decent repair. It just gives you a lot more options. It gives you one other option, but you can always pick the one that's optimal.
For race mode, why do we always choose the squid?
Because it's
I mean, I know it's
because
simply the
people want to
fastest,
see this-
but
because people want to see the squid used somewhere.
right, well, hear me out. Imagine junker races. Tar Barrel would mean a lot.
Tar Barrel would mean a lot, and also Pantomimes
All
would
those
be
side
hilarious.
guns would be insane. There'd be mines everywhere. The ships can move. They can move left and right very well, but they can't move very fast.
I think
So you're going to see a lot of insanity.
It's like
I
a
think
snail
2v2
race.
mine. I think a mine brawl would be hilarious.
No, do it on Battle on the Dunes and like just have them be on one side. And everyone, you just have to get to the other side.
Drag race.
No turns, nothing. Just mines, junkers, and any tool you have to just explode to the other side.
At that point, whoever got the first mine hit will win. Then it'd be kind of boring. But
Perhaps.
I think it would be really cool to have like a mine brawl inside of the ribs or like inside of the Leviathan. That'd be hilarious.
There was a similar match that I had on occasion with 4 mobulas on the captured points, and everyone would only bring flares, but no fire extinguishing equipment.
Oh.
So fires would burn out things pretty quickly. That was such a great concept at the time. And of course, they're mobulas, so fragile ships.
For the other guys in game, did any of y'all ever get messed over by a flare? My crew
I
was
never
really
shot
worried
by
about flares, but I mean, thinking about it, they did not seem to be that frightening in terms of a race.
Nope.
Most of the flame stacks I actually got were mostly from mines.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
one of the things I
I
was
know.
really
I know one of my crew members was shooting a flare a lot, but I don't think he managed to hit anything.
Well,
We,
even when
uh,
it hits anything, I mean, what
We had
does
an
10
extinguisher on
stacks
board,
of-
so
What does 10 stacks of fire do in the middle of a race anyway? Like when you think about it.
Well, on a squid, doesn't a damaged engine not put out as much power as a full yield one?
Well, true, but are you hitting if you're shooting a flare at a squid, you're probably hitting the balloon or the hull.
Yeah,
Well, the
true.
difference being, like, I had my crew.
And since it's a race, and since there's no constant, hull damage or balloon damage, what's 10 stacks anyway? Annoying, yeah, but not exactly threatening. At least that's
my engineers
that was
brought
part of my theory
extinguishers,
drafting.
so that was
going
never a
in.
problem.
My crew wanted me to bring flares, and I said no, they're worthless.
Yeah, I think that was the right decision.
So
Yeah, our flare didn't do anything for us, really.
how did you guys feel about the harpoon? Was it as effective as you hoped it would be, or less effective?
It
It wasn't as
backfired on
effective
us.
as it was in practice.
I think
That's
the
not-
only ship that used it really well was the Cactus. That thing was
Yeah,
just
but
like
then-
slingshotting itself.
But then Dementio blamed me or us for harpooning us and then getting killed by Princess Tutu's ship after.
Yeah, I'm just imagining like you walking down the street. Some guy is like running, bumps into you, bounces off of you, hits their head on a pole, like goes into a coma, wakes up 10 years later, points their pointer finger at you and screams, "You did this!"
This is like, what? We haven't ramped
tragic.
anybody.
Everything is tragic about that. We got hit from behind, I think, and then we just got pulled into the ship, and then,
Yeah.
warp time, everything blew up.
It was
just
pretty great. It's like,
instantaneously.
all right, yeah, I saw that. I'm like, quick, grab this so we can slingshot. Oh
Yeah.
crap! Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap!
Because we hit Scrimscraw's ship, and then someone hit us from behind, and we didn't even know what happened. Our engineers were going to the hull, and it just all gone, just instantaneously. We had no idea what just happened.
Yeah, quick, make the cat's cradle.
Yeah. Oh, it's tragic.
I feel like harpoons would be more useful if there weren't mines. Like if you're actually kind of forced to use harpoons, and also maybe if the map is a bit more open.
I mean, the idea behind the harpoons is, well, it works as long as you actually don't have anything else to do on the ship. And in the race, you constantly burn engines, you get tarred, and you hit mines. You
Let's
cannot
mention the fact
exactly afford using a harpoon even.
Yeah, I mean, both ships, the squid and squid, it's the same weight, so that also factors in when it's being harpooned.
Although I think I did use it once or twice effectively. Not exactly sure.
We were trying to use it to basically simulate the drafting from other racing games. When we're behind, we try to pull ourselves up. I think it only worked like twice, but we didn't actually pass the person.
Yeah, it only works on ships that aren't on your team as well. That's a real problem.
Yeah, and that was our biggest problem.
Okay, so does anyone have any final anything else to say on game 2 before we go to game 3?
Don't crash into canyons.
No.
That's all my thought was. Mines and canyons. Oh.
I have no idea at which place did we end up. It was so much chaos at the beginning.
Yeah.
All right, let's go down to game 3 then.
So what happened there?
People dying.
3 ships died, and then
Yeah,
they
sorry about
made a
that.
relap or something. I was there. I didn't know what was going on. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Straw's ship was just miles ahead of everyone else, and it was just
Really?
like,
Because
oh,
from I thought I was like right behind him, and then I suicided on a mine.
Yeah, no matter what, Scrim definitely won that one. We're gonna at that point we were just like, how do we even get these people back into the race? So
Yeah, I don't doubt that he won. I just thought I was catching up to him, and then I hit 2 mines and then slammed into a wall and died.
Scrim
might-
was
We're catching up
the
to him.
finish line. Yeah, it's
there
like
might have
you're
been
catching-
there might have been a situation on our team speak where there was a lot of shouting and a lot of crying when I hit the wall and lost a balloon.
I saw that. I saw that, but then the people behind you had gotten like caught up in mines as well and hit the wall. So
Yeah,
you
that
were
was
fine.
me.
Yeah.
But this was just
like,
after
I made a
said,
really bad
"Focus,
call."
We're gonna win this," and then I ran into a wall and almost lose it. I'm so terrible.
I made a really bad call when it came to trying to squeeze between 2 mines. It didn't work out.
So why was there the restart though?
Yeah.
That wasn't. All the other matches had deaths. Why did that one have a restart?
when the first ship died, we were just going to count his place as normal, how we would get him in. But then we had a second ship die, and then I think a third, and then we were really trying to just try to get them back in the race as quickly as possible. But it just became so confusing at that point that it was easier for us just to say do a final lap, and we'll just figure out your places that way.
Fox, how are you able to watch the stream?
I
Again,
wasn't watching the stream.
okay. Wild
That's
zombie,
how
that
I
was-
wasn't. I was watching it mostly via the via map and keeping my eye on the finish line, which was my problem on the first match. The first map, I was trying to follow the ships and keep track of who's doing what, and that was a nightmare. Second one, and the third one, I stayed at the start and I'm watching it just via map. Every time I see a hull go down, oh, for God's sakes, please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. And then when I died, I took note of where they were, what position they were in when they died. But then there was on the third one, 2 deaths relatively close together. It's okay. I could tell, like, with because you died, Cactus, and I could just have you restart from where you roughly how far you were from first. Second death, that's okay. I can no longer keep track of this on how far and where to spawn and go.
Would it be possible to just say if your ship dies, then you lost, and make that a part of it?
I was
Yeah,
suggesting
that's what
that
Forth
earlier.
was saying earlier. It would make
Okay.
sense.
We're definitely open to any suggestion. This is definitely the most experimental game type we're going to have of the TimmyB tournament. Everything else from now on is pretty much going to be variations of a death match.
Next week should be fun.
Which one's next week? Is that Spire?
Spire.
No, I think
No.
next week's the rando.
Next week
Oh,
is I roll
that's-
dice.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Yeah.
When are
Yes.
the dice rolled?
Best
Looking
week.
forward to that.
Probably
Very
probably an
big
online roller. Like there are a lot of
No, when?
random. Oh,
When do we get to know what we're flying?
Well, that's a question. Would you want to know?
I kind of
When
want to
you
know
log
early
in-
so I can like spend time goofing around with a ship build that probably won't work.
No.
Sammy, why are you
Come on,
flying a
Sam.
flare
question-
carousel pyramidion? Because I have to practice it.
question is not going to be how many days in advance. You're going to know that day. The question is,
Oh,
do you want me to be doing the rolling as you're all in the lobby, or do you want me to be doing the rolling, do the rolling beforehand, and then just once you get in, okay, here's your ship.
I think
oh, that's no fun.
I think for the sake of time, we'll do it like a day in advance or something.
I want to spend a
Yeah.
day flying this horrible build. I don't want my horrible build to only be one day. I want this to be an experience, an entire trial.
Well, we're doing this. Have the signups for the week, and then we could put up what ships are what on Thursday. Then, so you have Friday and Saturday to work with that ship.
And isn't there a reroll thing?
You can re-roll on a gun, not on what ship.
Is that for each gun or for one
No.
gun on your entire ship?
A gun per ship. So let's
So
say
you can
you're
actually
on
get,
the
like-
goldfish. Let's say you're on the goldfish. You can have one of those guns get re-rolled. One of the three. If you're on the galleon, well, you still only get one re-roll, but you have more guns to work with.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
Can you get the same weapons?
Yes, you might end up with the same weapon. It's going to determine it via die roll.
Pentaflare Junker.
If I get a pentaflare junker, I will no longer. I'll either have to stop believing in probability or stop believing in the legitimacy of the roller.
Nah, just Christ.
You didn't really roll this, did you? Maybe. Would you like a reroll? Oh, another flare.
Come on, Sammy. If anybody
You
got
get
to
it-
make
all right.
a
Pe-
5 flare
pentaflare. I
junker
want
work,
to- I
it's
want to
you.
remove a flare. Well, okay, it's a harpoon now.
Harpoon front, flare sides. I can dig it.
Just go in a tank. Flare for you allies.
Meat shield.
Strategy.
All right, well, I
okay, I'm going to cower behind you.
Next week will definitely be interesting then.
I think we pretty much got this all wrapped up. I think we've pretty much talked about everything that we wanted to, at least for today, and we're coming up on half an hour. So,
What I'm
why don't we just get some closing thoughts from everyone in here?
what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the week 3 thread open, and we can kind of turn that into a discussion about the squid race and how you guys might want to see it change for next season.
Word.
Well, going full reverse in the squids is surprisingly effective with mines.
Was
Yeah,
that
Won't
you?
fly.
Yeah, I
That's
saw
kind of
that.
the
Like,
first
That was
turn
us.
around just so you could throw a mine to the middle of everyone as soon as you hit 0.
yeah. Thanks for that, by the way.
You realize you only hit one ship, right?
Yeah.
It was worth it. It was
Worth it.
it. I was.
All right.
I don't know.
I
Where
just want I want to close off by saying that having Forl's engineers on board with Gino on the mine launcher was pretty great.
All right. Let's close it up. So anyone else have any more closing thoughts, or are we good? All right. Excellent. On that note, that's going to be it for the TimmyB Week 3 community chat. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and thank you, everyone who out there, for watching. This is the conclusion of the squid race. It was a little bit rough going, but darn it, we did it. The first time ever, we darn
That's
done did
understatement.
it. Thanks a lot, guys. See y'all later. Pleasure having you. Farewell. Oh, before I go, right. So if you want to catch a Sunday Community Skirmish tomorrow, it's going to be on my channel at twitch.tv/4thOracle. Of course, the TimmyB tournament will be here again at twitch.tv/The Robin Dan Show. And the Iron Fork will be happening as well. And that's it. That's about all we got. Thanks a lot for joining, guys. See you later.